Hello there, welcome back to another video. It's Wednesday, so I hope you're doing well. In this video, we're going to check out Imagery and we'll build that into our style guide, put some guidelines together as well on how we're going to use Imagery in our project. So let's do this. Okay, so welcome back to our file. I'm just going to go in and create a new page here just below icons for Imagery. And I think what we want to try and do in this video is just give some basic guidelines on what we would expect for our images for this project. So if I just quickly draw out a frame, I've copied and pasted some text into my clipboard. So let's go text, let's press Command V. Okay, so what I've done is in advance of this video, I've gone out to the internet and I'll just swipe right. I've gone to websites like NNG, Material Design, and also gov.uk as an example. They've got some great guidelines on their design system and their patterns. And what I've done is I've given it to AI and asked AI to summarize kind of some best practices for imagery in general. So this is what it's come back with. Okay, so let's just read back what ChatGPT has given me back as guidelines. Okay, so starting at the top, ensure consistency, so use images with similar brightness, contrast and exposure for a cohesive look. Maintain a consistent style across all visuals. The next point is optimize size and quality, so balance size and quality, keep images sharp but lightweight. And then it gives us a target of aim between 1 to 2 megabytes per page. Test the resolution to avoid pixelation across different devices. That makes sense. So have a clear focal point. So here it's saying choose images with a strong subject to guide cropping and composition. Ensure images clearly convey concepts in a memorable way. So balance images and text. Matched image detail to text density. Avoid clutter by ensure proper spacing and alignment. I'm just going to skim through some of these other ones as well. So applying the brand colors as overlays. So we want to use semi-transparent brand colors to overlay in a uniform way. We want to ensure the overlays enhance readability and don't obscure the content. There's a point here on accessibility, so providing alt text. Make sure we avoid using text within the image as that limits readability and accessibility. And then the last point is using images purposefully. So hero images, large and prominent, they're usually at the top of the page. Thumbnails, small previews used for navigation or content representation, and cropping the images appropriately for different placements and screen sizes. So that's what the AI's output to me. So these are fairly common practices across the web, but I really wanted to bake in a page here in the style guide, because if you're giving this style guide off to someone else to use, at least they have some guidelines and things to follow when they're using your files and they're actually building out the project further. All right, so I'm just going to hop over to our project overview again just to check in. So for this particular video, so for the imagery, we want guidelines on images that will align with DWM's voice. So I think we've got some basic guidelines in here. I'm going to tidy up this page in a second. Let's just have a look in our research file as well while we're here. So let's go back to our wireframes. So we've got hero images up here. We've got like a smaller content related image, and then we've got the courses images here. There's another image down here by FAQs. And by the looks of it, there's going to be some avatar images that are going to be used in these cards here as well. So that's something to consider. Okay, let's just quickly skim across to our next page, the About Us. So again, similar, we've got our hero image up here. We've got an About Us section here with a smaller image. And then we've got this section here on the left that contains some content and different imagery. Got another visual down here to do with the mission. And then down here by view courses, there's another kind of wider image. I guess it's similar to the hero image, but not quite as big. Let's just move across on our courses and merch. So again, we've got the hero image, and then we've got the images within each course. And then we've got the merchandise section here where the images are slightly bigger. Let's just move across again. And I think just on this page, it's just going to be the hero image. So that's good. Let's just move across to our last one. So on the checkout, it just looks like we're using imagery here for the items in the basket. So again, that's good to know, good to kind of check in with what we've done in our wireframes and how that's going to align with our style guide. Okay, so we're going to need some imagery for our project as we start building it out. I'm probably going to use Pexels, so you can either go to the website, or if you click on Actions and go to Plugins and type in Pexels, you can load that up. And this provides free images that we could use in our project. So if I typed in, for example, courses, click on enter, it brings up relevant imagery that I could use in my project. So I'm guessing if I click here, that then imports that into the project. Just delete that out. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed up this part of the video and I'm going to tidy up this page so it's in line with some of the others. So we'll use the same fonts and colors just to build out the page. Let me just close that plugin. So let's tidy up the page first and I will see you in a bit. Okay, so welcome back to the file. Let's dive in and take a look through what we've created. So if I just zoom in, so we've got some best practices for our imagery. I'm just going to go through each point, and as you can see, I've also added a good and a bad example beneath each of these points, which is quite helpful when other people are jumping in and out of the file and they need to understand kind of the good way and the bad way of approaching things. What you could do as well is drag and drop images of the good and the bad ways of doing things for imagery. So that would also be really useful in the style guide file. So I'm not going to do that for now, as I'm probably going to look at the imagery in more detail when we're building out things like the hero sections on our designs. But I think for now, this should be enough. So starting with the first point, ensure consistency. Use images with similar brightness, contrast, and exposure for a cohesive look. Maintain a consistent style across all visuals, and the good example is a set of images with a consistent style, similar lighting, contrast and color grading, and a bad example is a mix of overly bright, dark and heavily filtered images that don't match. On to the next one. So optimize size and quality. So balance file size and quality, keep images sharp but lightweight, and then it gives a guideline for megabytes per page. Test the resolution to avoid pixelation across devices. And the good example is a properly compressed image that loads quickly but remains sharp, and a bad example is a pixelated low resolution image or an overly large file that slows down the page. Have a clear focal point, so choose images with a strong subject to guide cropping and composition. Ensure images clearly convey concepts in a memorable way. So the good example is a product or subject placed strategically in the frame, so centered or using the rule of thirds. And a bad example is a cluttered image with no clear focus or it's awkwardly cropped. Okay, so balance images and text. Match image detail to text density, detailed images for text-heavy designs, simple images for minimal layouts. Avoid clutter by ensuring proper spacing and alignment. So the good example, an image with proper spacing and alignment with text, making both easy to read. Bad example, an image with overpowering text, making the layout feel unbalanced. Alright, on to the next one. Apply brand colors as overlays. So we can use semi-transparent brand color overlays to create a uniform aesthetic. Ensure overlays enhance readability and not obscure content, and maintain contrast for accessibility, so we avoid dark and low contrast overlays. So the good example is a semi-transparent brand overlay enhancing readability while maintaining the image details, and a bad example would be a solid overlay that makes the image unrecognizable or the text unreadable. Okay, so ensure accessibility, Provide alt text for screen readers and describe the image meaningfully. Avoid images that contain text as it limits readability and accessibility. A good example is an image with descriptive alt text explaining the content for screen readers. A bad example is an image with no alt text, or an image with embedded text that screen readers can't interpret. And the last point, use images purposefully. Hero images, large, prominent visuals at the top of the page. Thumbnails, small preview images, used for navigation or content representation. Crop images appropriately for different placements and screen sizes. So good examples, the hero image, a full width, engaging image at the top of the web page, and a thumbnail, a small, clear preview image leading to content. And for the bad examples, a low quality, poorly cropped hero image, or a thumbnail that doesn't visually represent the link content. Okay, so that's us done for imagery. I don't think we've got anything to publish in the file at the moment, so that's good. So those are our guidelines for imagery. Let's just go over to the project brief again. So looking down our list for the style guide, we've done our colors, we've done our typography, we've just done the imagery and the iconography as well in a previous video. I think what we need to do, going back to the style guide, is we need to tidy up some of the pages. So we have, let's have a look. We've got our logos here on the page. Now they're not really doing much. I think I've left a comment here, create a logo as a component. So I think that's what we'll do. So yeah, in the next video, we're gonna tidy up our logos page. And I think once this is done, we can then focus on creating another design system file that's gonna house our components. Okay, that's it for this video. Thanks for getting to the end. Like and subscribe, add some comments, check out some other videos on my channel. I think for the rest of the day, I'm going to try and avoid stubbing my toe again because I just stubbed it on the desk. So don't do that. Anyway, thank you for following along. Thank you for subscribing. And if you want any help, drop some comments below and I'll do my best to answer your questions. So I'll see you in the next one. Talking to the camera as well, just to note for anyone that's watching this, talking to you directly in here is actually harder than it looks. I'm trying to work out where I'm looking. So you're in there somewhere. Hopefully it doesn't look too weird. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking to myself and I'm gonna get a coffee. So I'll see you in the next one.
Okay.